Hello, I'm Sana Khan and you're watching MediCircle. Today we have with us Shayanthani Datta. She is an operations manager at Jagannath Gupta Institute of Medical Science. Please welcome her to our show Rendezvous on Patient Safety Series. Hi Shayanthani, how are you?
Hi, this is Shantini Datta. Thank you so much for inviting me for this wonderful initiative that MedCircle is taking. I'm honored and overwhelmed for this opportunity which I got from you. I am presently working as a manager operations and quality assurance head in Jagannath Gupta Institute of Medical Science and Hospitals. It's in Kolkata. It's a private medical college of 150 MCI approved seat, and it's a 550 bedded medical college. So patient safety is definitely, as you know, that I am heading and medical college 550. It's a challenging issue for me. So thank you so much again for inviting me this show.
Okay, to begin with, patient safety is a global health priority, hence proved by COVID. What are your thoughts on the same?
Uh, when in the month of March, when we heard that this new pandemic has been started, uh, initially it was really challenging to overcome the mindset of people. See, what is quality? What is patient safety? It's all about your internal training, your internal thought process, your motivations, your leadership programs, everything. So when it become a communicable kind of disease and people having fear, even we had a lot of trouble to encourage our healthcare workers to do the duty. Though we are encouraging as a healthcare warrior, a frontline warrior, but still on ground level, if you go with, and as our organization is in suburban, so people having different mindset. Patient safety is definitely was the first priority when we thought that we have to divide our non-contagious patient to our contagious patient, and we have to treat them. We just simply cannot avoid it. As a medical college also, you have a lot of other patients, because in this pandemic, if we found, if with other, compared to the other organizations of Calcutta, I don't know about other cities, but there was a dip in patients service. There was the number of the patient was gone down, but for us it was the same. 75% of the occupancy we have maintained for the entire pandemic era. Hence, the patient safety, keeping in mind with our leadership motivation and everything, we are capable enough to train them, to make them aware. The training, repeatedly, I'm saying the training is very much important. The motivation is very much important. And moreover, when your infection control training and infection control guidance are there from all the levels, starting from CEO to your vice chairman to a housekeeping, that's become a united work.
Right.
It just give us a good strength on dividing it in terms of the patient care in this pandemic, especially for when it was in initial stage.
Okay. The theme for this year's Patient Safety Day is Safe Health Workers, Safe Patients. What is your contribution towards the safety of the health workers?
See, when we have joined as a healthcare worker, say 8, 9 years ago,
Mhm.
we understood that what is our job role, what is our responsibility. In our organization, there are two aspects altogether. One is your personal, which is your managerial skill, another your infrastructural thing. So I am grateful that this hospital where I'm working is actually a non-AC. It's not entirely a centralized AC.
Mhm.
So which helps us, our workers, to get infected. Like, it's a very nominal rate where my workers got infected. It is more obvious with the central AC. Then you have to focus on a lot of infection control protocols.
Mhm.
But in our cases, it is mostly a non-AC area where there are a lot of ventilation, because in a
Mhm.
medical college you have to maintain the 25 acres of place, and this uh, places are spacious and all. So that is one factor which helps my patient, my staff safety and patient safety in terms of contagious to the COVID. Second, maintaining protocol. If we were doing hand hygiene practices, say once in a week, it has started to thrice in a week training. Quality, patient service, staff service are all well connected. Again and again, I'm saying if it is your training, your motivation, and if your all level supervisor speaks up, your communication. Communication in initial stage when one of our staff got infected, it was a normal UTI. It was an UTI for that staff. So we thought that it's a fever with some symptoms, and no one was going towards her. Then we had a discussion, and fortunately, our vice chairman, as I told you, our entire hospital has a leadership program where we drive from our vice chairman to housekeeping. Everybody is united. So my vice chairman has taken up a thing and called me in the morning saying that, Madam, please help me. No one is going for this patient service, and that is my faculty because we have another college. So that was my faculty who got admitted. I rushed to it and I first seen the vitals. I'll not say that I am fearless. I am also a diabetic. So I do have that fear in my mind. But still, I rushed to that patient file. I took my in charges from there. I have seen the patient file. I've told them, see, this is the culture report of the patient. Then why to fear of? Fever is not new for us. It's
Right.
for long time. So we have to understand that how we can do it. Either go testing, because in initial stage, if you remember that there was a law of doing this RT-PCR with the NABL. So getting an NABL approval, it's also a time-taking process.
Right.
A medical college cannot do an NABL and NABH just like that. The MCI norms are different. The NABL and NABH standards are different. Then we took 3 months time to do the NABL audit, and we are accredited NABL RT-PCR lab from July onwards. So it's took March, April, May, June, July, 5 months time. There are a lot of challenges. Yeah, and before that, then we started doing the test. We used to keep the patient in isolation, and we do give the PPs and other things which were basic requirement for a patient to treat. But in the mind of the patient also, it was very panicking. They were saying that, why, madam, I am being treated as a COVID patient? Because on that time, COVID patient means don't touch, don't go, something like that. So that
A
mind
lot of
block
fear
has
in
to be
those
moved.
times.
Yes,
Yeah.
that mind block has to be changed, and it took time. It took time. It is not that easy job, and with everybody's support, it has now. It's not an issue now. Now people are talking with the patient relative of COVID people. They are counseling the patient. Previously, there was no counseling. They literally feared. So
Right.
that has taken up, and which makes our staff safety as well as patients' satisfaction to a different level through this communication. And I appreciated my senior interventions on that. Even we were in the as a quality team, we were doing the same for the long and in a phase wise, where and where required. We are not waiting for a training schedule to be done.
Right. This is the digital age, and healthcare is highly influenced by technology trends. How do you think this transformation will support patient safety today?
This transformation definitely supports patient safety in terms of patient rights and responsibility. If we look onto the this technology, like previously, we were not allowing patient to take their mobiles and anything. We were not supporting that. We were not supporting the telemedicine concept.
Right.
Initial stage. Now, this is obvious that those software companies has taken up into different level. Healthcare workers also try to get something which is less in terms of your communicable diseases, like coming to the OPDs and then spreading. See, a very big factor is where your hospital is located. If I ask my all OPD patients to come with testing to maintain every protocol, it is not possible for them. In this area where my hospital is located, it is more onto a rural area where people works on a daily wages. They hardly have a mask. They are using the masks for more than 7 days. So instead of going or giving them the support, we can give the support. If they come into the hospital, we are supplying one mask, and then that mask maybe they are keeping it for 2 3 days. So this is something which was initially giving us a lot of problem. Then what we thought, we have made a camp, an e-camp to the local areas. We have sent one person out there with the telemedicine concept, and they were connecting to our general physician. So hence we are reaching the rural people with that one person. That my one particular that person is totally with all the PPs and everything, maintaining all the social norms. I am not expecting the social norms to be maintained by them for the people. Yes, they are also giving some teachings to the rural that please do hand sanitize or keep your hands clean or something. It's kind of a social activity.
Mhm.
And when people are getting much trouble, they are connecting with my doctor then and there. That is one. Second, if you think that this COVID reports, we are testing the person, that is fine, but we are hardly we encourage the patients to come here and to collect the report who are tested positive. So what we are taking it, we are taking the help of the technology only,
Right, the same
and
telemedicine.
everything this, yeah, and suggesting them the medicine, the home isolation concept, the satellite treatment, these all are technology oriented. So in this pandemic or in this situation when technology is helping us a lot in healthcare, yes, definitely it is giving us more power to protect ourselves also, and to protect the
Others.
society also.
Right. Diagnostic errors, healthcare acquired infections, medication errors, readmissions, wrong site surgery, and communication are the major patient safety issues. How do you ensure proper patient safety, Shantani?
Madam, all the topics that you have taken up, the medication error and everything is all about your training, audit and training. In this hospital, as most of the people will aware that what is MCI, it's MCI approval or MCI is all about your teaching. But what about the patient safety? So, if we find that in Eastern India, there are a few number of medical colleges who develop NABH and NABL because the number of patients is more in medical college. So sometimes it becomes it becomes a quantity oriented than that of quality oriented. In present scenario in Eastern India, I'm talking about, I'm not talking about southern part of India. Southern part of India and western part of India has their different way to deal with, because every region has their own way to deal with this healthcare. Here when we were uh, one year back when I joined here, I found that the quality of care is good, but capturing error or capturing data, capturing fact is zero. No one is capturing the data. Until and unless you capture the data, you cannot make your facts proper. Let it be your own department. Here, say for example, they if they want to capture Betso, so there is an ICN team who goes to the ward and asks the nurses, "Is this any bed?" So nurses will say, "No, no, 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 no." So that was that was a a training issue, a communication issue. What will have with the bed sore? We can treat the bed sore, no issue. But somebody has to, bed sore is not a crime. It has developed with the clinical condition. So we have to maintain with the clinical condition. No one is going to scold because there is a bed sore or uh, there was a mistake or there was a hospital acquired bed sore in your ward. No one is going to scold you. So that fear first is supposed to take out, is the main way to take out from the nurse's mind. In an organization, nurses and doctors are the pillars. And this nurses and doctors has everything with them. So you have to make your communication proper to make them understand that this is not a fault finding. Even today also, when we are doing the training from NABH or any other organization, the first thing they mention is it is not a fault finding, it is a fact finding. It is very hard to make people understand that quality or other teams who are doing it, it is for the fact finding. Once the fact is being found, it can be solved, it can be resolved, it can be taken up to different level, because we all, whatever we are doing for the patient only. Our first customer and the last customer is your patient. Yes, there is another thing which is my own staff, my own customers, that is apart. But for patient safety, even for medication error also, there are n number of initiatives which I have taken personally in my 1 year of career in this medical college, because previously I was working with the corporate hospitals where there is a proper guidelines of NAB, there are people with a quality, but in medical college it is my first experience. Hence, I get a lot of opportunities to work on, to precisely say for medication management. There were a system, just for an example, examples to name for. There was a system where people used to indent at night, the only time when they do indent. Now the indent come at night, and there are few manpowers at night in the pharmacy, so the TAD become high. And one person whose indent has been made at 11:55 on say 2nd of December, 11:55 p.m. That means it's almost third, but the time is showing 2nd December, 11:55. And then on third, and then the patient is getting maybe on third night, which is 12:05 a.m. maybe. So the TAD become 2 days, just because the lack of manpower and the process of work. So the process has to be defined. I have defined it to our MSVP sir. I have defined it to our vice chairman sir. They have agreed on that, yes, there should be a real-time indenting. Now the real-time indenting is being done. My patient's satisfaction score and clinical score has also gone up. So there was wastage of, it's not like that they were not giving the medicines. They have a ward indent in huge. So it's a wastage of revenue also. Because once you are using the word indent, you are cutting the strips, and sometimes cut strips are not returnable. So that part is a wastage. So there are small changes, small initiatives that can make your organization fruitful in terms of your revenue, your patient safety, and your patient services both.
Thank you so much, Anthony, for coming to our show and adding your insights to our patient safety series. Thank you so much.
It's my pleasure. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Have a good day. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye-bye.